If you want to go home like I did, I promise.
This meeting of the Mayor and Board of Aldermen for the City of Cleveland is now in session. Anyone that has business before this board, please come forward and you will be heard.
Thank you, Ted. Will you open us for prayer?
Let us pray. Our dear Heavenly Father, we come again to give thanks for the many blessings that have restored unto us. We thank you for the privilege and we thank you for the opportunity for allowing us to come together to discuss the business of. We pray that everything we do and say will be in your will. It is in Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Welcome to our visitors. Our first visitor tonight is Rita Griffith. Rita, if you'll come up front and your name and address and your reason for business tonight.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Goodness.
Rita Griffith, 712 Natalia Hutton Street, formerly Lee Street. Still is.
Okay.
The reason why I am here is because I really have a problem with something that happened July 10th. It was some people, young people, and I guess some older too. They were just going around through town, blowing car horns and hanging all out the vehicles, drinking and everything. They came up through there by Double Quick. I was getting gas. They made the mistake and come down my street. And I was really sick that day. And so I was on the police station, even while I was at Double Quick and informing them. And, you know, and I was letting him know because they had small children in the vehicles. They were drinking. And I mean, you know, it's like, okay, hey, this is okay. We can do this. And, you know, and I told them, I said, they hanging out of these windows, drinking. I said, now they going down toward Reverend Rash Church. So I went on home, got in the house, got comfortable, finna get ready and go to bed because, I mean, I was in so much pain that day. They come down my street. So I called back up to the police station and I told him, he said, well, ma'am, I got somebody in the area. I said, okay. I said, it's a police car right there at the red light. I said, and he turned behind them. I mean, when they came down my street, it was like car on this side, car on this side. People couldn't even pass by going down the street or anything. And that's really dangerous. And then they ran the red light. They didn't stop for the red light. So what if an 18-wheeler had been coming down 61 highway? And I mean, when they come down through there, they not doing 25 or 30 miles an hour. That could have been a tragedy. So the cop went behind them and he put his lights on, but then he turned and went in the opposite direction of them. So I called back up there. I told him, I said, okay. I said, he went in the opposite direction. I said, y'all not gonna stop them? I said, you need more than one. I said, because it's about 6 or 7 carloads. I said, and they got children, they drinking. I said, this is, you know, not supposed to be happening here. And he said, well, I agree with you. I said, well, y'all need to do something. So, I mean, you know, I love my city.
We do too.
But y'all should know I used to be up here all the time.
Yes, ma'am. I'm aware.
And trust me, I brag on my police department too. I have been to several states this year, and any of them will tell you, even to other police officers and stuff, I tell them, I say, I have a wonderful police department. I say, and I love them to death. But Buster needs to tighten up on them, y'all or somebody, cause I mean, it's just not, this is not supposed to be happening.
Yes, ma'am.
And then all the shooting that's going on in the area and stuff. I mean, at any given night, I could be in my bed and a stray bullet don't have no name on it.
Oh, no, ma'am, it doesn't.
And if you shoot up in the air, it got to come down somewhere.
Yep.
So police need to be visible. You know, just like they visible over there where he stay at, you know. It'd be about 6 or 7 of them over in that area. I want them in my area. You know, maybe some of the stuff won't be going on, that's going on.
Yes, ma'am.
And I did have someone tell me, we do whatever we want to do over here because the police time it stinks. They response time, shoot. They might not get over here for about an hour. I said, well, I tell you what. I said, come on my street. I said, I ain't gonna need no police. I said, you gonna need the undertaker.
Well, good for you.
So, I said, so anytime you feel like you want to do something on my street, I said, please come. I welcome you.
We need a lot more Rita Griffith. Thank you for your time.
Trust me, my neighbors don't like me because they say I'm too nosy.
Well,
But, I live on that street. My mom now moved on that street. I was going on 2 years old. And like I was telling Mr. Sanders, I'll be 60 years old next Saturday. And I ain't going nowhere until God get ready for me. So they might as well.
yes, ma'am. I wish we had a lot more Rita Griffiths in town.
Mayor, may I may say something
Yeah, go ahead.
real quickly? Thank you, first of all, Ms. Griffith, for your concerns. And there, and our police committee had a meeting yesterday, and we talked with Buster about some concerns. And he and I was on my driveway this morning, and he saw some things with his own eyes. But I assure you one thing, that there's going to be some tightening up, as you say, and you see a difference.
Well, I hope so. And I mean, y'all need to get out of y'all comfort zone. Ride around and you will see what I'm talking about. Just venture outside your comfort zone every now and then. You ain't gotta do it often. Just do it every now and then.
Yeah.
And you'll understand what I'm talking about and you'll see what I'm talking about. So.
Yes, ma'am. I put penny miles on my truck riding around. I get right around in this town. But thank you for your time, Miss.
You don't want no miles on you, I'll let you buy my car.
Hey, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, well, you're welcome. Thank
you so
y'all.
much.
Thank you.
Patty,
Thank you.
you'll come forward, give your name and your reason for business.
Didn't bring enough. I apologize.
You didn't bring any ice cream?
Did not, but I tell Mr. Danny next.
It was good. I was just out there. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to look at. So first of all, thank you all so much for allowing us to come forward and just have a couple of minutes. What I want to share about is partially selfish, but also partially something I think is important. So what you're looking at right now basically is a map of South Sharp Avenue from North Street south to Collins Avenue. So it's the area right before we single laned all the way up to the highway. And so, first of all, my concern is that there's not really enough parking right now. It's a great problem to have. It means that downtown is thriving. There's lots of businesses. That's awesome. The challenge is that we recently have a salon over in that area, as well as a law office. And so I get it. You've got staff, you've got customers, people are going to be there for a while. That's okay. That's what business takes. But Desiree Warrington and I have been talking a lot, and we both have businesses where if it's not easy to get in and get out, people will probably go somewhere else. So if you've got a car with 3 or 4 kids in it and you can't find a spot close to Delta Dairy and you got to wrangle your kids out of the car, it might be easier just to go to Sonic or McDonald's. And I respect that. But I think it would really behoove us and our tax dollars if we could have more parking there. We ask our staff, and Suzette and I myself, if we're going to be at Delta Dairy for more than 15 minutes, we park in the yellow highlighted area, that little parking lot up the green strip.
Right
Right
here.
over here.
Yeah.
Right over here, absolutely. And so
Why is the parking getting bad over here all of a sudden?
I think it's because
Because of you and Cleveland, Florida.
the salon is where H Squared used to be, as well as John Cox moving his office over. I think there's just a lot of businesses. I mean, it's a great problem to have,
But are employees parking over there?
so we encourage all of our employees to park over at the yellow area.
I'm talking about, are some of their employees parking over there?
Some of them are parking over there. And if people want to park in front of their own businesses, I think that that's their right. But if you have more employees than you have spots in front of your business, it makes it challenging. But at the same time, the yellow area is not very accessible because if you're dressed up for court or you're going to the salon, you don't want to walk through the dust or the mud. There's no path from that parking lot over to our side of the street. So people often will walk over into the intersections and walk on the street, which is kind of dangerous because a lot of folks who aren't from here don't really understand how it's changing to two-way traffic as opposed to the single lane. So my perfect solution is that I would love it if y'all would single lane it. I think it would solve a lot of problems, but I also recognize that's expensive. And so at a minimum, I would really love if y'all would consider just having a path similar to what y'all have down by the gazebo. So from the green strip, you can walk across. And I think it's a much smaller ask to employees and other business owners
That's
to
easy.
park over there if you could just have a path to walk back and forth, because I'm not going to ask someone that's dressed up for work to walk through dust or mud. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, it's dangerous for them to walk in the street. So,
You know, Mayor, at one time, about 2 years ago, I don't think we ever went back to it, but we asked the engineering department to look at making it one way from the police station all the way that way. Because if you did, then you could get more parking over there because you can, the same thing that happened over here on Sharp, on this end of Sharp. Can we possibly get them to look at that again?
We'll have Josh up here.
If they made that loop around behind the chamber and made it come back this way, people will adjust.
And also we can get Steve-O some type of path, even if it's
Let's get a path.
bad.
Idea.
But
Mayor, further
Dick,
past,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, further past North Street, correct me if I'm wrong, we're asking those business owners, employees to park in the rear.
We are.
We're not doing something similar in, is he in his area with the employees?
Nothing.
there's
I
not.
was gonna mention that a minute ago. We were asked down when the guy had his business down there to ask him to park across by the chamber because there was a lot of complaint. This end of the town for years and years had been dead, Maddie,
I understand.
and we're so happy that it's alive.
Yes, sir.
But we do need to encourage these parking lots a lot more.
Well,
Which we
need to
hadn't done
encourage
necessarily.
those business owners over there for them to park across the street.
Yeah.
To leave parking open
Eddie
for
does that.
customers.
Yeah.
I had a question. We need to get the pathway.
How much of that parking lot do you think, Matty, in an average day is occupied?
Not much.
Oh, it's not used very much.
No, it's
20%, maybe?
20, 30% maybe. I mean, I know, so Desiree has access to the back. So most of her employees park back in that parking lot that I'm not sure if Raymond Herta still owns it or not, but so they're really good about it. And I'm not here to like complain about individuals.
You got several nutrition, you got
Yes,
several
sir.
people going in, out.
And when you're backing up there,
Yeah.
because of the two-way traffic and people coming off a court, you know, I'm glad there hasn't been an accident, but it's
One way
challenging.
from the entrance, when you come across the railroad tracks, you can take a left turn, but nobody's gonna be going south.
Yes, sir.
Make that parallel then, couldn't you, on both sides?
I think a lane.
Wonderful.
Doesn't that increase parking?
Sure, that's what we're talking about.
Not, diagonal,
Just like we did over here.
yeah,
diagonal.
That's what I said, but if we made that all one way, then we could do that. We can pick up a lot of spaces.
yeah. You can
Meantime,
turn left where he's saying off.
Let's get that pathway though.
Steve-O comes up, we'll remind him of that. And when
What was
Josh,
nice is when y'all single laned north of there, which I thought was wonderful, is you also see a lot less people that use downtown just as a thoroughfare. You know, the people that aren't going to shop somewhere, they're just kind of like speeding down. I think it's really slowed people down too.
got to.
It's been really nice.
A lot of people don't pull all the way up to the curb. They got those big trucks that stick out. Okay,
Thank you, man.
we will mention that to Steve-O for a path and Josh to look at this.
I'd also like to compliment Mrs. Green. Like when Desiree and I decided we were going to come say something, the ease with which you can like get in front of y'all and schedule it was really customer friendly. So I wanted to say that too.
She's dynamite.
You use it.
Thank you, Patty.
Thank you all very much.
Thanks, Matty.
And to do it, did you go online to do it?
Well, I should have gone online and looked first, but I emailed her and then she politely directed me to the online portal.
Okay. Thank you, Maddie.
Cream next time.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Russell,
You can leave if you want to.
chamber.
I know.
We'd love to have you stay.
Glad to have you.
Hey, Russell.
Thank you. I'll try to keep it brief.
That'd be good.
Thanks for allowing me to come tonight. I've been tasked with being the Oktoberfest Chair for 2021. As you may or may not know, Oktoberfest is the biggest fundraiser of the year for the chamber. And this year, we're going to keep with tradition, but we're also trying to implement some changes. And one of those changes this year is we're trying to implement a food court area for the food vendors in between Regions and Pickled Okra, Collins Street right there. In doing so, we're asking to close Sharp Street from South Street to North Street. And in doing that, making, of course, North Sharp is already one way,
Right,
making South Sharp one way going south.
okay,
It's going to allow us to have more food vendor area while allowing for more space and foot traffic. And it allows for people to spread out more, especially now that we've got a new COVID concern.
correct.
And it'll also allow our sponsors with more reallocated display space because we're going to put them where the food vendors work. Now, we have, no vendors will be on Sharp Street. It'll be closed just to foot traffic only to allow people to move back and forth without having to worry about cars.
Right,
The chamber's already discussed this with Chief Bingham. And of course, I know being a first responder for the past 18 years, how important it is for emergency vehicles to be able to maneuver. And I've looked at this, and if we've got any kind of emergency situation, it's just barricades. We can move through and we're not blocking access to the fire station or the police station. So if y'all will approve this, of course, our first order of business is going to be to go talk to every business that would be affected.
correct. I was gonna
And
mention.
then if they were okay with that, then we would move forward, but we wouldn't do that without the blessing of all those business owners.
Sure. Okay, do we have
Motion.
Robert made the motion,
Second.
Ted second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Get with
Update.
the Buster and y'all work it out.
All right. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Okay, public hearings.
Ooh, I got 3 pages. 513 Ferguson Avenue, Maria Del Miranda, 206 and 208 Grover Street, Jordan Properties Limited, 1713 South Chrisman, Benita Smith, 1516 College, Christopher K. Reefers, 1508 College Street, Dylan Zane and Ryan Nash, 1506 College Street, Thomas D. and Terry Steele, 1504 College Street, George Keeter Ballard, 1502 College Street, Kent and Missy Washington, unplatted North Bio lot in part of Block 5, Block 6 of Cleveland, Thomas W. and Thomas R. Brown. Shifting to the next page, 1007 South Christmas Avenue, Tissy Scott, 911 North Sharp Avenue, Curtis Brown and Son, Inc., 206 Roosevelt Street, Southern Development of Miss, 1139 South Davis Avenue, Vada LLC, 701 Memorial Drive, Cotton Station Holdings LLC, 503 Lane Street, Marvin Petro, 705 South Christmas Avenue, Leroy Carter Jr., 213 North Jones Avenue, J&O Real Estate Investors LLC, 912 North Davis, Chawlas Inns Inc., Highway 61 South, 4.2 acre tract, Joan Evans, Highway 61 South, a 9.798 acre tract, Leland Speaks III and Margaret Tuttle, 1326 Church Avenue, Terry Fair, 919 Church Avenue, Ajax Morris Jr. Eddux, 1320 South Davis Avenue, William Brown Properties, 603 South Court Street, Amy Plummer, 713 South Street, Gloria and Sherry Hudson, 604 North Bio Avenue, Daniel Griffin. Not me. I don't guess. 516 North Bio Avenue, Melinda Maria, and 604 South Fifth Avenue, Oliver Corder, and finally 203 Washington Street, Lois Thomas. It would be in order to have a motion and second to adjudicate on those as read, those being all ones with no progress or only some.
Call out the ones that were highlighted. You skipped
No, we
those.
skipped.
No.
Okay, I make a motion we approve with the exception of the ones that had progress.
Second.
Gary, Danny, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Yeah, I guess it's Wally our next.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Billy Trotter, are you on the Zoom call.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Okay. All right, Wally, if you'll come forward.
You gotta recuse this.
See you later. You should have accused yourself when Russell came up there.
Why?
Oh, no.
He was here for the chamber.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead, Billy. Wally.
Okay, I have, on the property at 405 East Sunflower Road, we have obtained a structural report.
Right.
And, I believe it's been delivered to all the aldermen and everything. I took one by to Mr. Gainsfletty and, sent one to, Mr. Trotter and have, comply with that. We've dropped some cost figures on the improvements here. I'd like to pass out.
Okay.
This is on the rehab on. I've talked to contractor for licensed contract with the state of Mississippi, Fleming Lumber Company, to do the construction, and they agreed to work with me on it. So, we'd like to proceed with the building application permit, repairs to the building.
This is the gentleman that did it back here
Excuse me.
on the screen.
Yes.
Yes, sir. How are you? Yes, sir.
Mr. Brad Carter.
Mr. Carter. Thank you, Mr. Carter. Any questions?
Yeah, I mean, the only problem we got is, and I mean, I can only say this on behalf of the way we've had to do this in the past. I thought the cost of repair had to be less than 50% of the value of the property.
That's correct.
That's correct, Billy?
Yes, that's correct. And I've stated that to Wally. He emailed me on Saturday, and I emailed him again on Monday and again yesterday. And I advised him that this afternoon about 4:50, come by the office, dropped off the sheet, and he's over $189,000 in what the building's worth with repair work.
This list showed 207.
That's right, but the building is only appraised for $17,000.
You're a appraiser. What you got to say?
If I could say something, we're talking about the 50%. If we went in and took the building just like it is, and the replacement cost on it would probably run about $200 a square foot. Okay, we've got $207,057 of estimated repairs to do to the building. That breaks out to like 53 a square foot, 83, a square foot. So that would be like 73.6% of the building that is there. It's not in excess of 50%. And I'd like to bring the building, get it in compliance. And
how long would it take you one? I mean, because I know it's been over 10 years since anybody's been in it.
It won't take that long.
Well, yeah.
We've been talking about it. We've been talking about it almost that long.
Mr. Carter, do you have any, what would be your assessment of the 50% thing you're hearing here?
I can only comment relative to other cities that have a similar wording. And normally it's justification for the council or alderman board to be able to come in and really apply eminent domain on a piece of property in order to provide protective covenants that will protect the people of your city in Cleveland. And I'm not used to using a figure like this.
Right.
And I know, and I have done it before, have improved property just like this. The
Sure.
values that are there that are usable, we would want to. From my report, I will be discarding anything, improving foundation, improving and reinforcing walls, and putting a new roof back on it so that the protections would be there.
Yes, sir.
What I like to do after we get it brought up, after rehab the structure and everything, we'd like to take it up to the next phase and subdivide it and for, usable store fronts on the property, which we do along the side of it. And we got, basically it's just two buildings there, the small one over on the side of where the Sonic is, and the main building, which is 40 by 80. And we're going to divide that up into 3 sections, and each one would have a storefront in it.
Okay.
They will be built in compliance with city code. Finished out, heat and air.
Is your builder ready to go now? Your builder that you've got lined up to do the work, is he in a position to start immediately?
We're going to start on the foundation and the roof structure and everything. And so hopefully he'll be available at that time. Everybody else is tied up.
Yeah.
So we want to get in line and.
Right. Yeah, all right.
Worked on it. I mean, I go back to what you said about the time element.
Mr. Mayor, may I speak?
Sure.
You asked me to go over, I've been the past 3 or 4 weeks, I've been dealing with community development and learned a whole lot about what's going on and the dilapidated structures and that type of thing. When I took this job 7 years ago, Brett Mormon and I walked into that building, and to my recollection, we went through the same thing at that time. What happens over the past 7 or 8 years is we bring someone in, not calling any names, but just situations. Inspectors go out, they do the 21-19-11s, and they come in and ask for an extension, and then we go into an estimate on building, and then we never get a time frame, and then it fades away, and then we go into something else. And I know Billy was dancing around that, and I understand, but I don't know. I just don't have a lot of confidence that anything's going to happen. We went in this last month, and these folks over there really stepped up at community development, and I just kind of wanted to stay in behind them, and in my opinion, it's over. You can see through the back. You've got pictures. You can see through the roof. You can see the stars. There's no roof on it whatsoever. There's writing. We talked about it the other day, recommended our engineer look at it to see if it could even be repaired. Anything can be repaired. But I'm just kind of wanting to put a little teeth in it. I think 1 or 2 of y'all have expressed that, and getting behind our community development to make some of this stuff happen. So maybe a deadline, maybe a something, hey, when are they going to start? It may be time to, hey, let's do something with the building next to Sonic. We've been playing with it for 10 years, in my opinion, and I don't know, maybe I'm out of line, but that's just what we've seen. So
Wrong deadline if we do that, whatever.
I go back to what you said, timetable.
Okay, go ahead, Dan.
We have never used this ordinance, Mr. Carter, as eminent domain
It is an ordinance that's set up, and we have used it to protect the city structurally and the beautification of this city. I just keep going back to the number of people, Danny, that we have already, it's like spot zoning. We can't spot zone. At the same time, we have an ordinance that says 50%. I really like Wally. He's a good friend. But I have to sit on this board and say that I've looked at this and it falls under the 50% to me of dilapidation. That would mean that it would need to be torn down. I always want to see money spent wisely, and I want to see if we can get something up quicker, Wally, by starting today or tomorrow. Maybe we ought to look at it. But again, how many people have we had buildings torn down because of this 50% ordinance?
Yeah, a lot.
A lot.
My question to you would be, how solid is this 200 a foot total replacement? Because Wally's point, and he's an appraiser,
Yes.
what he does is that it would take $200 a foot if you were starting from scratch, and therefore he's saying it will only take him 83 a foot, so he's less than 50%. If those numbers are reliable, they're reliable. I don't have a means to gauge that though, but I did hear that.
Why do you have a contractor lined up?
I've talked with Marco on doing the roof structure.
Who?
His first name is Marco.
Oh,
And he's a framing contractor. He went over there with me and looked at the building. I contacted him back.
you gonna do the roof before you do the foundation?
Well, no, we'll do the foundation first. And talking with Mr. Carter, the people in the foundation people in Jackson that you were talking about, that do the underpinning.
Yes, sir. I have talked with Dalton Strait of Murray Mudjackin, I've worked with his firm for about 30 years. And he indicated to me that he would be able to come up, appraise the project, give you a firm price. That's my budgeted price that I confirmed with him that should be in the range. And with that, he would come and be able to start almost immediately.
We'd like to get everything started. If we can get the building permit and get started there, you'll see some activity going on in the building. We'll proceed with it.
I think if Mr. Wiley want to spend that type of money on repairs and everything, I think it should be okay to just let him go forward and just bring it up to the code that the city requires.
I want to go back to Greg's comment. I knew it had been a long time. I didn't know it had been 7 years. We gotta have a deadline.
We got
Got to have a deadline.
deadlines.
I agree.
What do you need, Wally?
To finish it.
I'm talking legitimate deadline, not coming back in 60 days saying I'm still talking to people. Because it puts us in an awkward situation as well.
He knows that. I've told him.
The same thing.
Well, no, we'll be able to go ahead and start it and get the improvements. Once we get the foundation crew started, we'll be working on getting the framing crew in there.
Give us a date.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of variables that are going to come into play, and
He just said the guy could start immediately.
yeah.
Completion.
I would
What are you
say-
looking at?
What?
Completion.
Mr. Ashley,
Yes, sir.
I would estimate that you're talking about construction time total. By the time we go through Mr. Trotter's office and obtain everything that you're going to need and the construction itself, I would think we would be complete within 6 months.
Wow. Okay.
It's complete with everything.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Floor to roof.
When is the start date?
That depends upon the contractors, and with the pandemic, the way it has been, contractors are a little bit more available today than they sometimes are or have been in the past.
I know, but you just told us the guy could start immediately.
Oh, I did. Well, that was the foundation contractor,
Well, that's-
subcontractor. Yes, sir.
That's got to be fixed first.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm with you 100%.
January.
What it
Well,
was,
give,
month.
give me 6 months, starting this, first
Not
September.
start.
No, finish.
Let me get the building permit to get started and we'll start progressing on it right away.
6 months.
I'll be able to, get the contractors lined up and after I talk with everybody and be able to get a schedule down. I've complied with getting the report and everything and like house festival up. We're ready to go.
I think the 7 years throws everybody off. And
It-
all that stuff. Go ahead, Billy, Trotter.
If you all give them an extension, can you please give a deadline so we can have it in the minutes in case we have to move forward? We'll have it
That's
in
what
a
you
minute.
gotta have. That's what everybody here is saying.
That's what we're trying to do, Billy.
February the 1st. Complete.
August, September, October, November.
He said the guy can start immediately. Can you start construction in 30 days?
Yeah.
Yes. I would.
And we got to see, then I make a
February.
motion that we have to see construction starting in 30 days, or we got to do something. We got to put an end to it.
I second it.
That sounds good.
You can start, are you going to start construction in 30 days with completion?
With the 6 months
anticipated-
as of February the 1st.
Yeah, February 1st, by February 1st, 2022.
Is that your motion or is it?
Is that okay?
Billy, you got that?
Yes, sir, I do. And while I
Thank-
make sure your contractor is licensed, Marco is not a licensed contractor. You have to have a licensed commercial contractor through the state board contractor.
Okay,
I advised you of that earlier. You told me you had Cleveland Lumber and Plymouth Lumber looking at it. You didn't mention Marco.
We have a motion.
That's
I
it.
made a motion to start in 30 days with completion in
About
6
February.
months.
By February 1st, you think, because for time, or what would be 6 months?
I don't know.
February 1st.
August, September, October, November, December, January,
February 1st.
February.
Complete.
Okay. Gary made a motion, Ted second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Okay, Wally,
Thank you, Wally.
there you go.
I get it.
Thank you. Okay, is that all on hearings?
Yes, sir.
Okay, engineering, Josh?
Good afternoon, board. Josh
Go
is
ahead.
not in here this time, so I'm filling in for him.
Good.
Before I get on where I was gonna, you have sharp after, and we will have that to you next meeting.
We're breaking up.
Break it up on us.
Break it up.
Start all over.
The parking for South Sharp Avenue that Maddie brought up when the welcome to visitors. We'll look into that and we'll have that to you before.
Okay, I got that.
All right, so on the report, just a couple updates. Fiducia Park, we're substantially complete with contract 3, and we're in a grassing establishment period right now. So all is going great with that one. Contracts 1 and 2 are complete, so we're just waiting for the grass establishment on that one to close out the project. The next thing, Rosemary Road, we've sent that out to MDOT and for officer review, and we should get those plans back and have an actual officer review by the end of this month, where they'll come through and make decisions of the plans and the quantities and specs and all that, and we'll be forward with that as well. North Street, we did bid that out past Thursday morning. We did not receive any bids for that, but we did contact 6 utility companies to bid on that, and they all had plans and specs and had talked to us about it. So it's disappointing, but it was mainly due because of availability of materials right now, and then the pandemic with the workforce. So hopefully here in the winter, when things start slowing down and construction gets a little slower, we can have more people bid on it. So we'll bid that out back again in the winter. And then the last thing I was just touch on and give you an update on is the Fayette Davis storm drain repair. The project is complete. We just have the contractors about to start on some punch list, get that cleaned up.
Okay.
You get a chance, would you ask Josh to send us a list of those streets? I don't see it in here.
It was in
Yeah.
here.
I'll send those as well.
In the engineering folder.
I've sent that to Roy Collins, and we are in talks about starting that here soon. And then there's some also asphalt streets on there as well that we'll be sending out to APAC, or even do a bid package, try to get bids on for work.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Let's digress a minute. Hey, did you have anything from the chamber?
Waiting on the consent agenda so I can get approval for the sidewalk sales.
Oh, okay.
It's in the consent agenda.
Okay, I thought maybe you were with Russell earlier.
I was with them too.
Okay, all right. We'll go, Danny.
Consent agenda is before you for motion and second to approve.
Let me ask a question about it. The thing that was on there, and I'm all for this, it was for sidewalk sales. So are we being asked to approve that?
You are. It would probably might be good to hear from the chamber.
That's why I'm here. Yes, sir. So we are asking for sidewalk sale approvals, and we kind of did a blanket time period. We're about to enter into a very busy fall season. You look at pretty much any community calendar out there, we're about to have move-in dates. We're about to have first weekend from your Delta State students come back. We're about to have picnic, and we're about to have Oktoberfest. And if y'all were paying attention on Monday, you saw our lovely buses from the American Queen coming downtown. So the idea behind this submission was to put before you guys the opportunity, kind of like a catch-all string of dates. I don't anticipate this will be abused. I anticipate this will kind of fall to special events, weekends, and American Queen dates. If we need to modify it for y'all's.
No, the only reason I asked the question, at one time, we were just saying that there need to be some guidelines.
Yeah.
So has that been taken care of?
I'm still new on the job, but I can throw some out there right now.
I'm all for it. I think it's great. I think it will open up downtown even more. I think it's a great idea. We just need to make sure we have some guidelines so it doesn't get trashy.
I agree. I think you need to have something about to address the size and type and maybe even location.
And time constraints. I mean,
right.
Sir.
Time. I mean, do you do it 24/7? Do you?
A lot of people just don't, they don't do it. Like, we'll run it for a couple of hours and bring it back in because your merchandise gets dusty and worn and everything else.
Talking about putting displays on the sidewalks.
Yeah, kind of like they do in Oxford.
Yeah, they do.
You know, hang a rack outside,
put stuff out on the street,
do a half price sale outside. Well, it's not being abused or misused now, and they keep the sidewalks open. I haven't seen it be junky or anything. I think that the chambers can pretty much handle that. I don't think that would be the city as much.
No, I think it's a great idea. We just need to, we don't let it get away from us.
Hey, it's you.
And if y'all will approve through this date, if you would like for me to come back to y'all with some guidelines by, in October, just so y'all, so there is something.
Yeah, that'd be fine. I know you'll do it right, but
I think just maybe y'all sit down and put together a list of kind of guidelines of, how people should do it and just bring that back to us. But in the meantime, I think we need to go on and approve it.
Yeah.
So y'all can get moving.
I know it'd be done right with you in charge.
I make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
Gary, Danny, all in favor, say aye. Thank you, and thank you for all your hard work. You hit the ground running, girl.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, do we have any?
Very short report for me. You do have some things listed for executive session later if you'd like. I can cover those pretty quick too.
Okay. Planning Commission and Heritage Commission.
Yes. If y'all would, it's longer than I can cover in like a minute or two report. Katie's got a lot of detail in here for you with what they're doing with both Heritage and the Planning Commission. In the case of the Heritage Commission, they've put together some guidelines for murals. And that's going to require you, upon approval, to appoint some members to a committee. And they'll come back to you shortly with a recommendation, because what you're going to basically have is a committee that is made up of people from the arts at Delta State and around town, so that these murals that go wherever they're going to go in the city are artistically done with the right types of materials. It's less about content and more about being done right. And then, of course, if they do a mural in downtown Cleveland, it's going to have to always come before Heritage. And Heritage, they don't regulate for content. They regulate for instance, if you have a building that is unpainted brick, that's not appropriate. If you have a building that's already painted, you could do it. You could do a mural on it. So it's really fact intensive, and it's in there for you to review.
I might just add, yesterday, we've started back our long range planning committee. And I think, Lynn, you would have been there, but you were on the bus tour. Thank you for all you do. But we did have Murtis Tab, and I think Murtis and Nan Sanders, maybe you and Cheddar Goose are the 4 or 5 that we've kind of pointed out with the artistic background. And Kay may be a good one herself.
So basically,
a group like that is
they've
what we're
put
talking
together
about.
your guidelines, Mayor, and they will come back to you with some appointees. It would be fine on your minutes to ratify the guidelines. You could do that now, or you can do that when they come back with the appointees. Either way.
Y'all want to just wait till they back with the name? Okay.
Are y'all ready to move?
Can I say something?
Sure, please do.
The Heritage Commission does not plan to appoint people for that committee.
That's fine.
I really don't want to. They've these guidelines that we sent to the Heritage Commission were to appoint people from different commissions that would come together. So that will truly be the board's appointments. One thing that I have had a member say, and I hope you all remember this, is we want a diverse group of people that can sit on this board, because when the mayor and I talked about this originally, I said, it's one thing for Heritage Commission to say what we can do downtown, but we don't have any authority on what can be done in other parts of the city. So that's where we came up with the idea of let's do it for the whole city. Because if somebody sees a mural downtown, they may want to put one on their building going out of town, and that's not even.
That's out of your bailiwick.
So that's the main thing with that.
Okay, I think we can handle that. Okay.
And it states in here, and you can certainly change them, who the members should be, what entities
Okay.
they should be from.
Okay.
So y'all be thinking.
Okay. All right.
Also note in that memo from Katie, the resolution of the issue that you referred back to the Planning Commission last month. They did their thing, duly called meeting, made a finding, and that's been resolved.
The adult daycare?
Yes.
So we need to vote on that?
No, it doesn't require your vote. And in 2017, the Planning Commission had sole authority unless it was appealed to approve it. They went through a process. They approved it. They dotted all the i's and crossed all the t's. The question now was, had the building been actually opened and used for that purpose? And the owner was able to document that.
Okay.
The added benefit of this, though, downtown, since we talk about parking, is that particular building has moved a lot of his parking congestion off-site.
Yeah.
And this business with adult daycare will be set up where they're coming in the back. So it's going to help with parking downtown. It should.
Okay.
That's
all
all
right.
I have.
Billy Trotter. Community Development. Thank you, Lynn.
Good evening.
Hey.
I don't have anything. I submitted my report, and I submitted a kind of detailed report of day-to-day operation. Y'all don't have anything for me. I don't have anything else at this time.
Hey, Billy, my wife is the ride around Nazi. She made me a list of yards that need cleaning up. I'll email them to you tomorrow.
Yes, sir. That'll be just fine.
Okay. Any other questions, Billy? Okay. Anna, Railroad Museum.
How are y'all doing?
Good,
I submitted my report and I'm good, but I did want to say that I wanted to thank Greg and Buster today because we had a first responders camp at the Railroad Museum that just went great, and I couldn't have done it without them. We're real lucky to have those guys.
Yeah. And I may mention tomorrow, I thought we'd be there about 1:45, but I'll have those legislators there about 2:00 if you'll have the train going.
We'll be ready. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank y'all.
Something.
Go ahead.
I read this report. Anna, you're doing a great job and you're doing great service for the city. And I'm glad to see so many people that are taking an interest in that museum. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We've been real busy, and I know it's not necessarily our job to make a lot of money, but we've been making some money, and I'm real pleased with how it's going. Thank y'all.
Good job.
Good job.
All right, Buster.
First of all, it's been brought up about the American Queen that's being docked over in Terrain Landing and busing people here to the city. It's like they said, it's a good problem to have. Right now, we've got a temporary space for those tour buses to park, to let off in the downtown area. There's not a real big problem down at the train museum because they've got a lot of space there. But if we start making some changes to downtown, we may have to look at providing bus parking for tour buses or whatever else if this type of event continues.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, yes, we did go to the first responder thing that they had at the museum this morning, Railroad Museum, and it went real well. And I want to say that Anna is doing a good job. She had probably 30 kids there, and they seemed to really enjoy it. And we got a kick out of going in there and talking to them. As far as the police reports are going, our monthly reports from now on, after talking with the police committee yesterday, they're going to be a little bit more detailed, having a little bit more information in them. If there's anything that you would like to see in the monthly reports, if you would let me know, then we would get that put in there so you would be informed, because I know that y'all get a lot of questions about different things, and we want y'all to make sure that, or we want to make sure that y'all have the information that you need to be able to answer some of the questions that's being proposed to you.
What was the point he made about something added to the report?
We're going to be more detailed in our monthly reports.
For example,
for example, I'm going to be putting in just exactly what type of calls that we're answering and how many of them that we're answering. That way you can be informed. It's like if we have, say, a rash of car burglaries, then you'll know exactly how many car burglaries that we answered that month. It's going to be a lot of statistical data that you're going to have, so that you will have that at your fingertips. Plus you will have the number of arrests that we've made based off of those calls that we've had. So that way, if anybody comes to you with any questions, you'll be able to answer it with certainty.
I had 2 points. Are you going to report traffic tickets?
Yes, sir. Citations will be on there.
So that, I'd like to add referrals to youth court.
Yeah. Referrals to youth court?
Yes, sir.
What is that? Explain it.
When a juvenile is detained or not detained, but is identified as a potential delinquent, the agency has to complete certain forms, and they refer that case to the Division of Youth Services headed by Mr. Reginald Walker. And they in turn process that either informally or it goes into a petition that's filed for delinquency.
Okay.
It gives you a statistic on like curfew violations.
Correct.
How many referrals are made every month for that? And I think that's public is asking me.
Well, I mean, and that's a great point. I'm glad you said that, because so many of these crimes that we are dealing with now are being committed by juveniles.
Yeah.
It's
I personally am involved in it, and it's just everybody's asking these questions, and I think we need to be transparent too, so the public sees this. And I think it would help everybody's
Correct.
credibility and so forth.
If anybody else later on thinks of something that you would like to see, all you have to
That'd be
do
great.
is give
Thank
me a
you.
call, and I'll be glad to put that on there. Also, I know everybody is interested in the shooting that we had on Roosevelt where the young man lost his life. We have made 2 arrests on that. We also have 2 outstanding warrants on some other individuals, and we're actively looking for them now. We have we have engaged the services of the U.S. Marshal Services to try to help us apprehend these 2 that we don't have right now. The Police Committee also asked me to provide them with some stats that I'll be providing to them within the next 2 weeks, and that information will be available to everyone also.
One final point, that'll be made, we'll all get a copy of
Yes,
that.
sir.
Mary, would it be
Very
appropriate? Because people are calling me, like calling all of y'all. My ward is pretty close to a lot of the shootings going on 2 blocks. Would it be appropriate for board members to write to a list of whatever we think the suggestions and submit it to the mayor, submit it to you, and then you compile it and then come back in a couple of weeks and say, this is what people are asking us to ask you. Nothing of a personnel nature, but policy, strategy. That's how to deal with it.
That's not an issue.
With that.
That was the sum and substance of our meeting yesterday was that we've got to do a better job of communication with the public, with the board, with the police department, because there's a perception that the police department is not doing anything when in fact they're doing a lot of things good. We got to show that to people.
I think we all need to have input so that we can share back with our constituents who are calling all the time. We are making some progress and we're accumulating this information, and then our next meeting, maybe your secretary can accumulate all that and come back to us.
Just let me know what you need and we'll have it available to you.
And to add, schedules when the officers are in certain areas, because the people are saying in my ward that they don't see police traffic. So it will be good if we can just have a scheduled time when they're there from 1 to 2 o'clock in the morning, if they're just in the area, just to have a schedule so I can say, well, yes, they are in the area during this time, because they're saying that they don't see anyone. And I heard you all say that you all had a meeting. Do we have a plan for dealing with this violence, or are we going to meet, I know we did one group did a walk, against gun violence. Do we have any plan? How are we going to address?
Yes, ma'am. We've got some things that we're doing, but, unfortunately, that's not something that can be discussed in a public forum because we don't want to tip our hands to the people that we're trying to catch what we're going to be doing. But I will be glad to sit down with you as an individual alderman or alderperson and let you know what our plans are.
I would love for that to happen. Thank you.
And to echo your exact sentiments, we talked about visibility as well. That's one of the things we did talk about in our committee meeting.
That's, and to echo what Robert was saying, that was one of the things that we talked about. Buster's got a limited amount of manpower, and all of our wards are asking to see more presence. I think they're working to get those officers in the areas where the crime's happening. And we talked about with budget coming up, potentially getting some more money available to maybe hire a few more officers to increase that.
The cameras, are all the cameras up and throughout the wards? Because I know there are certain areas don't.
Yes, ma'am.
On Eastover and Highway 8. Has that camera been placed?
Highway 8 has not, because we're still waiting for MDOT to give us a permit to be able to, or give us their blessings to put it up. But the only ones that aren't up are the ones that's on the highway, but everything else is up.
How many total are up now?
Right now we have, besides the 4 on the highway, we've got 13 that's up, 13.
Have they done anything to help you with your,
They have, and,
not for specifics, but
right,
They make
they
it-
have, right. And I'll be glad to explain that later on.
Yeah, I like that part about
Yeah, let's
the
move on then.
visibility of the police because in my ward, Ward 6, we have over 85% of the crimes that's actually happening in my ward, and that visibility, is very important. And I think it definitely, will cut down and help solve a lot of crime that happen in Ward 6.
Okay, Kirk?
I'll just hope during budget, we'll take up the issue of more cameras.
Okay. All right, thank you, Buster.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Craig?
Yes, sir. As far as the fire department goes, just keep in mind in October is when we're hoping to get our new fire truck in. We've already budgeted for that and planned for that as well. Still planning on moving forward with the 100-year anniversary. I hope it doesn't wind up that we're 105 years in and just doing our 100-year, but we're going to try to do that hopefully in October around Oktoberfest. Been asked to wear another hat and have really enjoyed working with Billy Trotter and some of the all of the folks at community development. And it seems like one theme keeps coming across the board, and that's communication. We've sat down, we've had a lot of good talks about how we communicate and being available for communication and make sure that everybody's on the same page. The rear view mirror is very small and the windshield is very big. So we're not looking back. We hope y'all see some changes, not only with myself and working alongside of them, but we hope you see some changes in the community in the next few months. And we're gonna strive to do that. So we just want the community to help us. Just know that we're not running around like Barney Fife. We're fixing to get together, all work together. And when you drive into town and you're from out of town, you want to get gas here and you stop, we want it to be a place that you don't mind stopping. And when you leave, you say, hey, that was a nice town. We want to be that place. And everybody's on board over there. And whatever you need us to do, we're going to make that happen. So
I want to thank you for taking this extra hat that I asked you to do, and you're doing a good job with it. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Can I ask a question? The smoke
Yes, sir.
alarm, that project that you all usually put on, and it's a extraordinary thing. The fire alarms for homes that's in need of it. Smoke detectors.
Yes, sir. We partner with the State Fire Marshal's office. I can do that again if someone requests that we come in and do it. We wrote a grant. We write these grants all the time, and usually the only ones that are really we know we'll be able to get are things like cancer awareness and smoke alarms and fire prevention and all that. So I try to throw a win in there every now and then when we write these grants, and we did that. But I can still do any type of smoke alarm project if you see a need somewhere with a homeowner. I can't do commercial property with rental property or anything like that, but I can make something happen if you have something in mind. And if you have a citizen that needs something, I can work with the State Fire Marshal office and get anything from a flashing light smoke alarm to a bed vibrating smoke alarm, anything that they're in need of. I would be glad to work with them and get it to them with no cost to them as well.
Thank you. And I'll just get your number and how many people in my ward that I have. Okay.
Okay, Brian.
Yes, sir.
speak on that smoke alarm program that the fire department's taking part in. It has made a difference. We've had several fires where we've gone to, and those those smoke alarms were in those homes going off. So that's made a difference.
Good. Okay. Further questions? If not, Jamie.
Hey there. My updated report is we took in 73 this past month, 39 dogs and 34 cats. It's been a rough previous month. This month seems like it's going to be about the same. We took in 15 cats just today from 2 different people. So I wanted to look at some ordinances if there is something we can look at for people who kind of are abusing the shelter. Like there's a gentleman who has brought 3 litters of kittens since January 1st from the same cat. Seems like it's, and there's nothing in the ordinance that requires them to have a fixed cat. Sorry, that was my cat.
Okay.
If it lives outdoors, but we have people bring in 20 and 25 animals in the 2-year time frame from their own animals, and that's a big financial drain on the shelter when it's their own animals that are making these unwanted animals. So I was going to look at some ordinances in other cities and see if they have a solution to that. But other than that, we're still operating at an 85.6% live release rate, which, being an open intake shelter in a rural area, is pretty outstanding. My ACOs went to training in Grenada this past week that was sponsored by the ASPCA, and they were telling them about our cleaning protocols and our rescue work and everything. And they said that we're doing great work. The only thing they said is we don't charge enough for an adoption fee. That was their only critique. But other than that, they think we're doing really good work here. We're doing a lot with a little. It's like Jesus and the fishes. We're making it work.
I echo your exact sentiments, and Mr. Cameron and I came in your area today, and we want to commend you and your staff for a job well done.
Thank you so much. And they're starting on the metal building for the dog building. They're going to start tomorrow erecting the metal building.
Good. Katie Portner is who you might want to talk to on that ordinance.
I'm going to see what we can find, if there's anything out there we can find to put a little teeth into it, because there's some people that I feel like are kind of abusing the situation.
Did you hear me say get with Katie Portner
Yes.
at Danny's office? Okay. Gary?
No, I was just gonna check on how the building project was coming.
Yeah, we had a meeting on yesterday. That was just yesterday. We had a meeting with shelter planners. They came down to see the progress and have a big meeting with the construction company, and Dominique was there, and they went over the schedule. They said the metal building finally arrived, and they're going to start construction on the metal building tomorrow. And they're hoping to start phase 2, which will be us moving our dogs from the existing building into the new building by December.
That'd be great.
Good.
We're excited. Thank you.
Good job.
Okay. Is Eddie Russell with Infomark?
No, Mayor, Eddie wasn't able to make it. He had an issue with a impacted wisdom tooth. You've got Jim Harvey here. I'm out here at the plant. I think you've got our report. Not much more to say than what's in the report. The 25 sewer backups cleared, 46 water leaks repaired. That's so far. That College and First sinkhole was a real mess, but it's finally got straightened out.
Right.
And if there's any questions or any concerns, anything you need us to take a look at that we don't have on the agenda right now, please let me know.
Question, Brian?
Jim, at 1715 Terrace, I believe. There's 1715 Terrace.
All right.
I believe the sewer line that's collapsed. It's got a barricade that's been sitting over the top of that hole for about 3 or 4 months now. To it.
I'm not familiar with it, but I'll find out.
Thank you.
I have. Go ahead.
I want to thank you for the work that you're doing on Belvedere Court with the sinkhole behind the house on
Yes,
901. Thank you.
You're welcome.
About a week ago, I think it was a Sunday, I saw a fairly significant leak on South Court right in front of Chattagoose's 208, I think, art studio. Water
208 South Court.
Yeah, he was running west down the street into a gutter at a pretty high volume right there on Main Street. Has anything happened with that?
I don't know personally, but I'm going to take a look at it when I leave here tonight.
Thank you.
Okay.
I've got one comment on 575 Hillcrest. We turned
575 Hillcrest.
Yes, sir. We turned it in, and y'all run the lines for the gas underground. It seems the flags are there, but it is a big collapsed sewer line in the front yard of 575 Hillcrest. And to the house to the east of it, there it appears that their sidewalk, it may be starting to sink in because of it too. If you look at, all right, thank you.
That's 575 Hillcrest, right?
Yes, sir. And to the house to the east of it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, thank you.
All right.
Steve-O?
Yes, sir. Good evening, y'all. You all have my report unless there's any questions.
What were you gonna ask him?
Steve-O, yes, we need to get together. We need a little walking pads or something from the parking lot
Yes, sir.
over here just south of the city hall across to like
sir.
the ice cream shop and those beauty parlor and those businesses over there. When they
Yes, sir.
park in there, they need to be able to walk on some type walking pads across that way. Maybe just kind of center it.
We can figure something out.
All right. If you'll do that.
No problem. Mr. Brian, that
Yes.
was 1619 Terrace for Mr. Jim.
Okay. I thought that was further down on the 1700 block.
1619, 1619
There-
Terrace.
19.
Yes, sir.
Okay, got it.
Thank you for the, thank you, Steve. You're doing a good job.
Thank you. Thank y'all.
Clint?
Good evening, Mayor. I've only got one thing for y'all tonight, and it's simply just an invoice from Barge for our pavement rehab project.
Make a motion to approve.
Second. Made a motion, Danny, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right, any questions, Clint? Okay, Jason?
I don't have anything outside of my report unless you have anything for me.
Questions of Jason?
Jason, have we got anything started on the pavilion over there at Amsomore Park? Have you?
Still waiting on the actual contractor. So Cleveland Lumber is pretty much, they gave me a 2-month window of possibly when it's going to start. Since it's a metal frame and it's a specialty. So I'm hoping we'll be able to get started on that project at some point by September. And I'll tell you what, I will try to follow up with them in the morning, see if they have any other new updates on that, and I will shoot you a message.
Thank you.
Jason, I want to thank you for the work you did at Fireman's Park. It really looks nice. People over there have called to tell me that. There may be one tree remnant still there. I know it's
Right, there's
big.
one big stump there that we just have to cut up. So hopefully we'll get to that this week. It was pretty weird. We were cutting one of the trees and there was a metal ladder stuck down in it. It's still there. If you want to go look at it, it was kind of odd finding that in one of the trees there. But it's still there.
The park looks good though, and thank you for
all of them do
cleaning it up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. All right, Dominique?
Yes, sir. You guys have this, what we call our Aldermen reports, which is the city budget to date. So let me know if you have questions about that. On the agenda, City of Shaw, their mayor reached out about potentially engaging in signing the animal shelter use MOU that we've extended to like the town of Marigold, the city of Shelby are the two that we have actively right now. I know Shaw is not in the county, but
yeah, it is.
Is it in the county?
Yeah,
Oh,
it
sorry,
is.
sorry, Shaw.
My little hometown.
It's right on the edge.
My head, not my heart. Pregnancy brain. Let's blame it on that. But so if you guys wanted to approve that, and they wanted, their board is going to approve it tonight.
175 an animal still.
Yes.
So
That's so moved.
All right, Danny,
Second.
Kurt, all in favor, say aye. Whatever.
Yeah.
As a reminder, we'll go into budget next Tuesday. First day will be on Zoom. So we sent the budget to print today. I hope to send y'all a message on Friday. So y'all can come by and pick up the actual physical book.
What time?
8 a.m.
Sometime between now and then, while he did, he emailed me that report he referred to tonight. And I sent it out to everybody, but I didn't have Zena's email address.
Okay.
So
Text it to you.
we need to get
The round table.
everybody's phone numbers and emails. That was the only one I couldn't send out, and I apologize.
No problem.
Okay.
And I've got a new email, so we'll get
Oh,
it.
yeah, he's got that. in there too. Okay, we can get that. If y'all had any more questions for me.
Okay, any more, Dominique?
No, you said the first day would be on Zoom and from then on out.
Yeah, the first day would be on Zoom. The second day, when we bring department heads, I guess we can kind of make a
Wednesday.
call on Tuesday, whether or not y'all want to bring them in or not.
Well, let's see how the first day goes first,
Right.
because it won't be hard to set them up.
No. So,
I'm
This is the 10th.
The 10th, yes, ma'am.
That's Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. So pretty much blackout next Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday, we probably won't go. We'll come back maybe the next week and just kind of have a quick, or probably discuss it at our second meeting, any
Right.
kind of wrap up things we
That
need
would
to
be
do
fine.
for budget.
Okay, Heather?
I'd like to also first start out by saying thank you to Greg Jackson. I reached out to him to assist me with a meeting there at Community Development. And between him and Billy Trotter, it was really appreciated. It went really well. I want to also add to my monthly report, as of today, we have another police officer that resigned. So we are now 4 short at the police department. Chief is currently in the hiring process at step 2 of a couple candidates. And I also want to add for him, he is not getting the applications in like he used to at all. I'm putting them out everywhere I can think of. If you guys got some other ideas, shoot them to me because I'll sure do it.
Can we use, and I've never done this, but I know people use professional hiring services, ZipRecruiter and all these other things.
I do. I reach out with Indeed. I've got Indeed and Career Builder. I've got 2 contacts with those that I do reach out. I put it on our website. I put it in the Bolivar Bullet, and I also send it out to MDES.
Yeah, we're going to put, there's a couple of law enforcement Facebook pages and chat rooms within the state, and we're going to put those on there. Put the openings on that and see if we can get some likes that way.
I'll send you like the announcement. You just copy and paste it to them. Great.
And this probably not the best question to ask in an open meeting like this, but is it that we can't even get people to respond, or is it a money issue?
It's definitely not a money issue.
I don't think.
I don't think it's a money issue.
No.
They are just not putting in
Oh, but-
applications, and it's not just for the police department.
Yeah, that's everywhere.
Every position.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, it's not a
Size American.
We got a great situation here in Cleveland compared to others.
I used to be.
I'm having trouble hiring.
Applications.
I understand
It's
that.
just not there now.
The glamour is not there.
Okay.
Nationwide, there's police short.
Good reason.
Is there a reason for this resignation? Are they moving? Did I say?
There is a reason for the resignation. They just decided that they wanted to go a different career path.
Oh, okay.
Right at, unfortunately, the last minute.
Interesting.
The next thing I have is the employee action recommendations. If you have any questions or want to move any items to executive session, we can do that.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Gary, and all in favor say aye. All right, Robert.
I haven't. I just want to say thanks. And we had a great MML, and there he was served on the executive board, and everything was up and door and glamorous down there. Dominique, congratulations, your certification. And we're glad, and thanks once again for our department and the great job that they're doing. And thank you, Ms. Rita Griffin, for attending.
Her.
I don't have anything, Mayor.
Zane,
Do what I need.
I don't have
you
anything.
good? Ted?
In my ward, I'm having where the vacant lots are, the grass are going so tall there. And I'm just, some streets you're almost afraid to ride down because the grass are too tall. I think I'm gonna have to get with.
Why don't you ride down there tomorrow? You ride around with
Why don't you do like my wife did?
Yeah.
Make a list,
Yeah.
and Billy tomorrow.
Yeah.
How about that?
Wait, I get with him.
Y'all take a ride.
I picked the phone up and called.
And you just
Okay.
talk.
Yeah. You good? Ryan?
Oh, Ms. Griffey, I want to thank you for coming too. It's going to take everybody in Cleveland to help with the things that we've got going on. And if you see something, you got to say something.
Got to.
I do.
That's what I said. I wish we had a lot of readers around. Danny?
Mayor, congratulations. Hall of Fame too.
Thank you. Thank you. You stay around long enough, that's what happens.
Is this municipal? They'll stay.
Municipal.
Congratulations.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Stay around long enough, you get there. 20 years.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's when you coming.
Yeah, Ted's already there. He's already. Okay, that's all I have, Kurt. You wanna?
I make a motion, we consider entering executive session have personnel, I don't think. I think it's just potential on existing litigation.
Right. Second. Danny, second. All in favor, say aye.
We enter executive session for that.
Any, all in favor, say aye. Thank y'all.